Hi, it's Linda. Thanks for tuning in. Today I've got a daily dose reading for you. Keep in mind this reading is not only relevant on the day it's uploaded, it's a timeless reading. So anytime you find it, it can be relevant if these messages resonate with you. So I've shuffled from my decks that I have and I've pulled one card with a different placement each, and I'll explain those as I put it down. There's also one rune here for the spiritual lesson. So the first card here represents where you are now. The second card represents the challenge you face. This is the resources you can use. This is the hidden forces. And this is the potential outcome. And this rune here represents what is the spiritual lesson here. Okay, so where you are now, it seems like you might have a little bit of a delusional time here, perhaps for some of you, where you're not feeling clear about what opportunities you actually have or what next is available to you. With the Seven of Cups in reverse, it could be a time where you might be feeling really fantastical, or it could go either way. Either you're feeling kind of fantastical, meaning like your mind is a little bit running away with delusion and fantasy about what you're doing or what you can do or what you're able to do right now. Or it could be the opposite is true, where you are lacking imagination or you're lacking any kind of creative force that will allow you to actually find a way through or a way forward from this point to actually see what you can do next or what's around the corner for you next. Because the challenge you face here with the Ten of Swords is saying that something has maybe just recently ended. Something's recently ended. There's a closure here. And for some of you, this kind of closure here could be coming about as a result of a betrayal or some kind of behavior towards you, or some kind of action or the agenda of a person or of other people that was painful or hurtful and caused you to have a falling out or a breakup or an ending of some kind. So and if that's the case, it's no wonder you might be feeling in this space here where you're not really sure what's next for you, because all you can sort of see right now is like what emotional damage you have to deal with, or that you're dealing with right now, what you have to face. But what's interesting here, this card here, the moon, is in the position of what resources I can use, what resources you can use. So what that's telling to me on this top line here is that while you might be having a challenging time dealing with the behavior of others that has been very hurtful towards you, that may have left you feeling confused or maybe isolated or betrayed or alone or unsure of what to do next, what you can do with this energy is use it to fuel you to discover more about yourself, and to kind of dig deep within the subconscious mind and into the psyche to understand what elements of your unconscious belief system may have played a role in a certain type of situation or event playing out in the way that it did. Now, I'm not pouring salt into the wound here, but it's a simple fact that we contribute very, very, very much so. We contribute to all the events that happen to us as a result of the energy that we may be putting out or transmitting to the universe through our thoughts, through our unconscious beliefs, through our patterns of behavior, or the things that we hold to be true that we may not understand we're actually really believing. You know, what I mean by that is like the moon represents the unconscious belief systems, and it's also the shadow side of the self. So in this energy, the highest path forward, I think, personally, I feel like as spiritual entities who are striving to make the most of this earthly experience that we're having, the most powerful thing that we can do, or the most empowered thing that we can do in our lives to be able to feel as though we have some kind of footing in this life in order to move forward with confidence and strength and with empowerment, is to understand that in every way, every experience that we have is in every way possible our responsibility. And that's what I'm talking about here with this top line with the moon. Like, even though you've had a painful experience, and I'm not trying to diminish that in any way, the way that you can feel empowered and the way that you can work with that, as the moon showing here as your resource, is to strive to understand from a psychological, from an emotional and from a subconscious perspective, how that situation was even able to play out in the way that it did. Because fundamentally, everything that we experience is a result of something that we believe to be true, or some kind of thoughts or ideas that we are transmitting to the universe in our energy. And that's how I'm reading this top line. Now, this card here in this position represents what resources I can use. You have the World in reverse here. The image on this card is very interesting. In traditional decks, like in the Rider-Waite deck, you have that image of like a wreath with a dancing, naked energy archetype, angelic sort of being in the middle with a sash, and then in the four corners usually you have the images of the four fixed signs. So the World card, even though I found this confusing as a tarot reader for many years, the World card, even though it should represent Earth, actually is the energetic archetypal card for the planet Saturn. Because, and if you think about it, that makes sense, because the earthly plane is where we experience. Saturn represents time, it represents restrictions, limitations, it represents discipline, it represents any kind of situation or difficulty or struggle that we go through that helps us cultivate strength and determination and the capacity to endure. And that's most certainly what the earth plane is for humans. It's a place where we get to cultivate and develop discipline and grow in strength as a result of challenging and restricting forces and limitations. So this card in this position of the reading, which is what are the hidden forces in the reverse. First of all, you have 3 major arcana cards in your reading. So this is a pretty, I would say this is a big energy. This is a very deep learning. This is a deep experience that is schooling you in probably a very challenging way, but that it offers a lot for you in terms of how you can evolve past your sense of limitations that you might be in right now, the way that you might be seeing life right now from a perspective of limitation and restriction. But the World in reverse here as the hidden force, I feel that in relation to what I've already spoken at the beginning of this reading, there is some kind of cycle closing out here. And I think if you can see it that way, you might be able to let go a little bit easier of the current energies that you're in, to be able to move on from this point and take with you the things that are helping you to grow in confidence, that will help you to grow in a sense of abundance, that will help you to grow in an understanding of this being a situation that's actually designed to help you heal and evolve. And that could be something that will give you strength, that will give you encouragement, and that will help you see that while this might be a challenging time, it's really supporting and encouraging and helping you to grow and evolve past your current state of belief and what you think is real and true about yourself. Now the Empress here represents the potential outcome. I really like this energy. And the spiritual lesson here is this rune is called Fehu, and it's in reverse here, which is interesting because these two energies are almost the opposite of each other. Now what I mean by that is Fehu in the runes represents abundance. It represents cattle, first of all. It represents cattle. So it's talking about material possessions, wealth, abundance, resources, right? Now it's in the reverse position here. So in terms of what, like this rune is representing what is the spiritual lesson in the energy that we're describing. And this card here is the potential outcome. So what it's kind of like a paradox. There's a bit of an opposition energy in these two energies. So how I'm seeing it is that a situation that you've been in recently where there's some kind of closure or ending or unexpected betrayal or some kind of event that happened here which has left you feeling a little bit confused, maybe delusional, frustrated, unsure. Maybe it's caused a loss of self-esteem or a loss of financial personal property or something actually physical. That could also be what's in this rune. Even though there's no Pentacles cards in this reading, there could be some kind of personal loss of wealth or possessions or something like that. But more what I'm seeing, because you have the Empress here in this reading in this position of the potential outcome, how I'm seeing this is that what this whole scenario is actually designed to help you see is that your sense of personal wealth, your sense of abundance, your personal confidence, self-esteem is nothing to do with the way other people behave towards you or treat you. It's not even anything to do with your financial positions or your material positions. This scenario here is designed to help you grow in your personal self-esteem, which might seem like a ridiculous thing to say here if you have been, for example, rejected or betrayed by someone. You know, but that's actually the way it works. It's quite often in life through those experiences where we are really hurt by someone that we feel that we gave our trust to, that we gave our love to, that we gave our loyalty to. It's often in situations where the people who we've given the most access to our greatest vulnerabilities, when those relationships turn sour or in some ways there's a turn of events where we feel betrayed or deeply hurt as a result of. It's actually in those moments where we're able to see that despite that betrayal, despite that energy, despite that loss of trust, we are actually more than ever still able to see our own value and trust ourselves and feel that we are worthy and lovable, and we can still love ourselves, and we can love ourselves despite the way other people behave towards us. And that other people's actions is actually no indication of what we ourselves are putting out, but it's rather an indication of themselves. But coming back to the moon card, because I know what I just said there seems like a bit of a contradiction, because this is like the energy that you're putting out or that you have been putting out enabled a kind of certain situation to unfold in the way it did. Maybe because on a deeper subconscious level, you didn't necessarily feel that sense of worthiness or that sense of personal self-esteem and value. And so maybe there was space in your energy for someone to behave a certain way to you that helps you on an unconscious level affirm that belief to yourself. But the point of all this is that it's about undoing that kind of unconscious thinking. And sometimes it's because of these external events that we get to actually see that those unconscious beliefs or those subconscious beliefs are actually there below the surface, and that it's through these catalyzing and painful and traumatic events that we get to actually dig deep and excavate those things so that we can realize that they're there, so that we can heal them. And that's where the Empress comes in. This is a very healing energy. The Empress is bringing a lot of healing energy to you. So if you're having a difficult time here because of a betrayal, I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't feel anything that you're feeling. It's not about that. This is just about helping you to see that the situation that you're in is neither good or bad. It just is. And it's designed to help you heal, and it's designed to help you find those details that are maybe buried in the subconscious mind, in the shadows of the mind, in the psyche, that are yours to disrupt, to discover, to excavate, to reprogram, and to heal any distortions that you might have in your field that is allowing opportunities like this to emerge for you. Well, I hope you found that helpful. That's this daily dose reading for today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.